Good morning and welcome to a 50-cent tour of January 22nd, 2013. And just as I'm beginning to record this tour, I am hearing Alex Jones talk about a shooting at, I believe, a college campus in Texas. So I'm praying for as little loss of life and damage as possible in Jesus' name, and hoping that there will be a quick resolution to that situation. Alex mentioned that CNN is not offering live coverage, which he feels is suspicious, that they don't want people to know what's really going on. Please take a seat on the Liberty Bus, and we will begin our regularly scheduled tour for this morning. I hope that you had a pleasant Martin Luther King Day. The tour bus does not run on holidays, so we may have a little catching up to do here over the last couple days. This is an article from yesterday. Paleolithic Park, Harvard professor seeks adventurous woman to give birth to baby Neanderthal. When I first heard this yesterday, before I read the article, I saw the headline. I thought that it was like Jurassic Park, but they had some actual DNA that had been recovered somewhere. That is not even the case. They actually pieced this DNA together, so it's an extremely dangerous trend. And as I read about this, I was reminded of a book that really is foundational in of the world and the struggle between good and evil. Ask for the Ancient Paths, Jessica Jones. Jessica wrote from a series of visions and encounters with the Creator that she had, and she was given a window, among other things, onto the origins of Lucifer and how his exercise of free will led him to become an enemy of the Creator. And one of the things that Lucifer did, according to Jessica Jones' vision, of course it is subjective, but if you read it, it makes an awful lot of sense. It has a ring of truth. Lucifer interfered a lot in DNA and recombined it in monsters, and perhaps the Neanderthal was one of those monsters, and now some other arrogant person is assuming that position and doing the same, building a new monster and asking a lady to carry it to term in her uterus. God help us. I hope that no woman is fool enough to participate. Here are a couple of health matters. DNA doesn't lie. Happy children become healthy adults. Be kind to your children. Love them. Tickle them. Give them candy every once in a while, but not Naked Juice or Odwalla. Brands to boycott. Naked Juice owned by PepsiCo, Odwalla owned by Coca-Cola. Caution, caution, they are not caring nurturers. What you think you're drinking that is healthy juice is probably something else. Now, there was a bit of a brouhaha over veterans today. Supposedly this man confessed that he's a shill or something. I only scanned headlines on that, but I decided to include this article in today's tour. Who is behind the Mexican drug cartels? Okay guys, 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count. Yeah, sure. The same fine people who brought you Fast and Furious. And as our news, Fast and Furious, a brand of international terrorism, Mexico and Benghazi too. God help us. We need to be delivered from these arrogant cabal members who believe that they're destined to rule the world, because they ain't doing a very good job of it last time I looked. In contrast to that, we have an article on American Kabuki about an important announcement by the Keshi Foundation. Keshi wants to host a seminar and is asking for suggestions where to hold the seminar. And this article also includes some PDF documents, and one of them is a world peace treaty, and they are asking for ordinary folks like you and me to sign it. So you can help to push against evil. You can help to resist evil by signing the World Peace Treaty. Bulgarian politician survives apparent point-blank assassination attempt. I include this because it reminded me of Andrew Jackson, who was struggling to prevent the takeover of the United States of America by the central bankers, by the world bankers. And a man ran up to Andrew Jackson and had I believe, two pistols, and they both failed to fire. And Andrew Jackson, although the man was attempting to assassinate him, Andrew Jackson was spared. And when we do what's right, God protects us. Creator is with us. And there's a dimension of this struggle that I think I forget sometimes, that God does intervene in things. Sometimes the gun misfires and the person trying to kill you falls on his face in failure. Speaking of falling on face in failure, hopefully this plan is a complete and utter failure. Japan warns it may fire on Chinese aircraft over disputed islands. Benjamin Fulford wrote about this in his blog yesterday and actually highlighted it as being one of the most significant things going on in the world currently, that the cabal is trying every single tool in their toolbox to hang on to their position of power. And evidently now they are, in the U.S., I guess they think they have us all busy with all the faked gun attacks and all the Second Amendment struggles and the potential for civil war. And they are moving on and putting their fingers in, their dirty fingers, into the business of some other countries, trying to get Japan and China to battle one another. They failed to start a war in the Middle East, so now they're trying for Asia. I hope that Japan and China are wiser than that. I hope the return of the Chinese Empress, which we read about in some of the Liberty News over the weekend, is a positive thing on all fronts, and she has the wisdom to resist this struggle with Japan. States act to nullify Obama gun control. This is the kind of pushback that I was talking about. Sheriff Mack, constitutional sheriffs refusing to infringe on gun rights is the solution. We just push and push and push, okay? No matter what happens, we hold our ground. We keep pushing on them on all fronts. Did you ever play the game Risk? You know, there are certain parts of the world that you just can't hold because you have too many fronts. We need to give the cabal so many fronts that they have to battle on, that they just have to throw in the towel. There are a lot more of us than there are of them, and we can rise up and overcome with God's help. She Who Will Walk in the Dark has organized the tour for your daily viewing today. And She Who Will Walk in the Dark hopes that you are not afraid and wants to remind you that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Take care. Insist on freedom and love one another.